Hey, what's up guys? Cichlid Bros here. Just wanted to give you guys an update on the 55-gallon Mbuna tank and go through our stock list and some stock tips for having an Mbuna tank, a little bit of information about tank size, and at the end we'll talk a little bit about some news coming to the Cichlid Bros, some changes that we have coming that I hope you guys will enjoy. In here, I have about, I don't know the exact count, 15 or 16 fish, mostly Mbuna. I do have one Tropheus Duboisi, which is from Lake Tanganyika. And I just want to give you guys a rundown of how everybody's doing, some stock tips. So, first of all, we will start with my yellowtail Acei here. I have two of them. They're pretty tough to catch on camera because they're so fast. Here they are. Here's one. Growing pretty well. These fish are one of the most docile and biggest Mbuna you can get. Once they get full grown, they're pretty huge. So I love their look with the purple and the yellow tail, and they're even better when they're adults, and they're just great companions for any type of Mbuna. I have four red zebras that are always fighting, establishing dominance, but it's never too serious. They're not too aggressive of a fish, typically, but they will chase each other a little bit, but no more than chasing. It's not like there's a lot of injuries or anything like that with these guys. I have three yellow labs. They're all juveniles and they have not developed that black streak on the fin yet. Here's one. Here's another one coming around. They do pretty well. I really like the orange, or the orange color of the red zebras and the yellow of the yellow labs, just what they do to my mostly blue and purple looking tank. It just really completes the look very well. Speaking of blue, the electric blue here, there's actually two Mainganos and one Johannii to be specific, but really there's not much difference in how they look. Here's the Johannii. He's actually a little blacker, a little more mature color-wise. Probably my favorite fish. He's just awesome, and he's been colored up for a long time. One of my first fish I ever got was this Bumblebee cichlid. One of those things where I was pretty new to the hobby, and it was one of the coolest looking fish in Petco, PetSmart, and so I got it. And then after the fact, I did some more research on it and realized that it's one of the most aggressive Mbuna there is. Now, I have yet to see that issue in my tank, but I've always been keeping an eye out, waiting for that to come. And I got a plan in place just in case it does, but he's been really good. One of my other bigger fish in here, one of the newest additions, is this blue manda, giant Demasoni, blue dolphin. There's a few different names for it, but this guy, when his colors come out, it's pretty awesome. It's light blue with the black bars, just like a Demasoni. How I heard it described was that it is the Demasoni without the aggression issues. Demasoni can be very aggressive, at least conspecifically, but also amongst other Mbuna. So this guy, he has shown a little bit of aggression, but typically this species of Mbuna is pretty docile, but he's a really cool looking fish. Here's the Tropheus Duboisi, my one non-Mbuna here. He's just been awesome. He's grown well, colored up nicely. He eats well. He's very fun to watch, very active. All these guys are really active, really. But he's just a nice little change up in the tank. If I can catch him, here he is, the OB Marmalade mCat Trewavasae. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but I just love the snout on this fish, I guess you could call it. How it kind of hangs over, his nose hangs over his mouth, and he's just going to be a beautiful adult. He's up to about 3.5 inches now. He's probably going to be one of the bigger Mbunas you can buy, that I've heard some of them getting up to about 7 inches. It's just more of a torpedo shape, as opposed to the Acei that is more of like a peacock shape, which is a little more slender and tall. So I think that's it for my stock list and how everybody's doing. Oh, I forgot, maybe my favorite one. The Chailosi. He's not very colored up right now, but he's really coming to the zone. He's really establishing dominance. He might be, tank boss someday. He's up there top 3 probably already. And when he wants something, when he wants to establish territory, fight for food, whatever, his colors are amazing. And he's really fun to watch. But his colors still do dull out a little bit at this point, as he's still just a juvenile, about 2.5, 3 inches long. So, yeah, I believe that is the complete stock list. I've had these fish from anywhere from a year or more like 11 months, starting with a Bumblebee and a couple Johannii and some yellow labs and the Acei. Those are my earliest fish. And then I got a couple fish, a couple of these yellow labs, a couple of the red zebras about 3 months ago. So everybody's growing nicely, coloring up well. My diet for these guys is, I've changed it up a few times. New Life Spectrum cichlid formula has been really good. I've also really liked the cobalt algae wafers. These guys love the algae, which is their natural diet in the wild. But anyway, my tank is 55 gallons, and I can already tell with these guys probably not even half grown. Most of these are going to be doubled in size in the next year. I can already tell that this tank size is going to be a little tight. So when you hear people say 55 gallons is a minimum for a Mbuna, listen to them. Because if I did it over again, I probably would have just gotten 75. I got a good deal on this tank, which kind of made me go with this instead of the 75. But really, in the long term, you're better off going big, which everybody says in the cichlid hobby. And it usually takes people a few tanks to get it right. You always kind of grow bigger. You start out with a 40 breeder, you move up to 55, you move up to a 75. Next thing you know, you're buying a 220 gallon. So I'm kind of at that stage right now where the more I learn about cichlids, my plans change. And I've had this tank for about a year now. Brings me to my last point, that having a little change of plans, going to swap out the 55 gallon Mbuna tank for a 125 gallon Predator Hap tank. I've just fallen in love with Predator Haps in my research, and I can't wait to get some, can't wait to get a bigger tank. It's always been my dream, and again, my recommendation is to go ahead and start big instead of the hassle of getting one, getting rid of the fish, getting rid of the old tank, getting the new one, which I know my wife is a lot like a lot of your wives, where she does not want 2 big tanks, display tanks out in the open. And I kind of agree with her. I like one show tank. I would like to have a few quarantine grow out tanks in the future, just not as open, out in the open display tanks. So plan is to sell the 55. My local fish store has already said they would buy my Mbuna because Mbuna unfortunately do not go well with predator hats. A lot of them feed on Mbuna in the wild, even full grown. So don't want that to happen. And I really like and trust my local fish store, and I know they're going to be a good home for them, and make sure they sell them to a good home in the future. So just wanted to give you guys an update on the Mbuna tank and where we're going in the future, and stay tuned for the new tank updates. Should be coming within the next month. Can't wait to show you guys and go through the process with you, changing over tanks, and I will see you next time. As always, like and subscribe. Thanks a lot.